There's a certain type of older man who has women thinking about him nonstop. And it's not because of money, youth, or even good looks. It's something far more powerful, something rooted in psychology and instinct, confidence that doesn't brag, a wisdom that doesn't lecture, and a mysterious energy that makes a woman feel both safe and alive at the same time. If you've ever wondered why this happens, you're about to learn the shocking truth behind female attraction, and it might just change how you see relationships forever. Confidence is magnetic. You might have noticed it yourself. There are people who walk into a room and instantly everyone notices them, not because they are loud or flashy, but because of the way they carry themselves. Now, imagine that same energy amplified in an older man. Women are naturally wired to pick up on confidence, and it isn't just surface level confidence like showing off or bragging. This is the kind of deep, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing who you are, where you've been, and what you want from life. It's calm, steady, and unbothered by trivial drama. When a woman senses this, something inside her brain literally responds. Her instincts recognize safety, strength, and emotional maturity even before she consciously realizes it. And yes, this is real psychology. It's not just a cliche you hear in movies or social media advice. Women feel drawn to men who don't constantly seek validation because it signals that they can handle challenges, protect, and lead without being controlling or aggressive. But here's the twist. It's not about arrogance or dominance. The older man who triggers this attraction exudes confidence, the subtle way. It could be the way he makes decisions without hesitation, the calmness in his tone, or the ability to hold a conversation without feeling the need to prove himself. You see, younger men often try too hard, filling silence with words or performing in ways that signal insecurity even when they don't mean to. Women notice this instantly. Confidence is silent, magnetic, and effortless. It doesn't need to be shouted. It's felt. And this is why women are drawn to older men. They've had the time to develop it naturally. Like experiences, challenges, successes, failures, all of this builds a sense of self that can't be faked. Another thing to keep in mind is how this confidence affects interactions. A woman doesn't just see the confidence, she feels it. In her presence, she senses someone who isn't reactive, someone who remains composed when others might panic. This creates a sense of stability, and women instinctively associate stability with trust and safety. They don't even need to think about it. It's a deep subconscious attraction. And the fascinating part is that confidence in older men is often paired with emotional control. He doesn't lash out in anger. He doesn't overreact to minor setbacks, and he doesn't rely on social validation to feel worthy. That combination, it's almost irresistible. When you start to notice these patterns, it becomes clear that this isn't just a preference, it's psychology at work. Confidence triggers a deep part of the brain linked to attraction, desire, and trust. Women may not explain it in words, but they feel it, and it shapes their choices in ways most people overlook. And it's not something that can be forced. Genuine confidence takes time, life lessons, and self-awareness, life experience is something you can't fake. And women are subconsciously wired to notice it. It's not about how many places he's traveled or how many jobs he's had. It's about the depth of understanding he carries, the lessons he's lived through, and the perspective he brings into every situation. Younger men often lack this layer because they haven't yet faced enough challenges to fully understand themselves or the world around them. But an older man, the kind that women are instinctively drawn to, has a history, a past full of mistakes, victories, heartbreaks, and breakthroughs. Every experience adds a layer of confidence, of wisdom, of subtle charm that can't be taught. And here's the interesting part. Women can feel this immediately. They sense when someone has navigated life's storms and come out steadier, calmer, and more self-aware on the other side. It's not just about being able to give advice or tell stories. It's the energy he carries because he's been through things, faced consequences, learned hard lessons, and developed resilience. That energy is magnetic. Imagine someone who can look at a problem without panicking, someone who has already seen the chaos of life and knows how to handle it with composure. Women are drawn to that because it signals not only stability, but also reliability. Subconsciously, they know that a man with life experience has learned empathy, patience, and the ability to navigate relationships without unnecessary drama. And yes, this creates a kind of psychological pull that younger men, no matter how attractive or confident, often can't match. But let's get real. Life experience isn't just about surviving. It's about understanding. Older men understand emotions, human behavior, and the subtle dynamics that most people miss. They can read situations, adapt, and respond in ways that feel effortless, but are rooted in years of observation and practice. Women notice this immediately. When he listens, really listens without judgment, it creates a feeling of being seen and understood. That's a rare quality, and it's one of the biggest reasons women are attracted to this type of man. And here's something most people don't talk about. Older men often have a better sense of timing, of knowing when to speak, when to act, and when to step back. They don't rush, they don't pressure, and they don't force outcomes. That patience and strategic approach to life is deeply attractive because it signals self-control and emotional stability. Women feel safe around that energy, And safety is more powerful than most people realize. It's the foundation of attraction that goes beyond physical desire. It's mental, emotional, and instinctual. So when a woman is drawn to an older man, it's not a shallow preference. It's a response to the depth, wisdom, and perspective that only comes from living, failing, learning, and growing. It's a subtle pull, a quiet magnetism that says, this man has seen the world, understands people, and can handle life's complexities. And that feeling is almost impossible to resist. Attraction isn't always about what you see on the surface. And this is where psychology comes in. Subtle triggers shape desire in ways most people don't even notice. Women are drawn to certain older men not because of a flashy car, a big house, or even obvious charm. It's the invisible signals, the tiny cues that communicate confidence, security, and experience. Have you ever noticed how some men just have a presence that pulls people in, even when they aren't speaking? That presence is not random. It's a mix of body language, tone of voice, eye contact, and even the way he moves through space. Women pick up on these signals subconsciously, often before they even realize it themselves. And when these cues align perfectly with emotional maturity and confidence, the attraction becomes almost magnetic. It's fascinating because the psychology of attraction is subtle but powerful. For example, an older man who doesn't fidget when talking, who maintains calm and eye contact, who listens more than he speaks, sends a message that he is secure and composed. Women feel this energy immediately. It taps into a primal part of the brain that's wired to notice stability, reliability, and competence. On the other hand, a man who overcompensates with jokes, constant attention seeking, or nervous energy can unintentionally repel attraction. This is why so many younger men struggle. They rely on superficial tactics while the deeper psychological triggers go unnoticed. Women respond not just to what is said, but how it is expressed and carried. Another fascinating aspect is how these triggers interact with subconscious patterns. Women are instinctively drawn to men who display qualities that suggest they can provide both safety and stimulation. Older men who have navigated life's ups and downs often exhibit these qualities naturally. They don't need to force attraction. Flows effortlessly through their demeanor, their decision making, and even the subtle confidence in their body language. Think about it, a man who walks into a room and owns his space, not by being loud or demanding, but simply by being comfortable in himself, sends signals that women's brains are hardwired to respond to. Then there's a matter of emotional cues. A man who can regulate his emotions, who doesn't overreact to minor frustrations, and who can engage in a conversation without dominating it, is sending signals that he is trustworthy and capable of long-term stability. Women subconsciously notice this because emotional intelligence is a key factor in choosing partners who are not only attractive but dependable. It's not just charm, it's psychology. And here's what makes it even more interesting. These triggers are universal, crossing cultural and social boundaries. Women everywhere respond to the same subtle cues, the same understated confidence, the same emotional stability. Understanding these hidden triggers changes everything about how we view attraction. It's not something you can fake with level tactics. The men who trigger this type of desire have developed an intuitive understanding of human behavior, communication, and subtle signaling over time. Women feel it instantly, even if they can't explain it. And that unspoken connection is what creates an almost magnetic pull toward this type of older man. Emotional intelligence is one of those qualities that you can't see immediately, but women feel it instantly. It's more than just being polite or understanding. It's the ability to read situations, navigate conversations, and respond to emotions, both your own and someone else's, in a way that feels natural and reassuring. Older men often have this in spades because life has forced them to experience it. They've faced heartbreak, disappointment, conflict, and joy, and through it all, they've learned to understand not just themselves, but the people around them. Women notice this because emotional intelligence communicates safety, stability, and depth. It's the silent language of attraction that younger men often overlook, thinking that charm or physical appearance is enough to create a connection. Think about it when a woman is with a man who truly understands her emotions, who doesn't dismiss her feelings or try to fix everything. It creates a powerful sense of being seen and valued. That alone can make a woman feel an almost magnetic pull. Older men who possess this ability often know when to listen, when to speak, and when to give space. And it's in those small moments that attraction deepens. Women are drawn to men who can handle emotional complexity without becoming defensive or reactive. And that's exactly what emotional intelligence offers. It's subtle, it's nuanced, and it feels effortless when it's genuine. Another aspect of emotional intelligence that women respond to is empathy. A man who can put himself in someone else's shoes, who understands perspective without judgment, creates a psychological comfort zone. Women are wired to respond to that comfort because it signals reliability, care, and a level of understanding that goes beyond surface level attraction. It's not something that can be faked with rehearsed lines or manipulative tactics. It comes from life experience, reflection, and personal growth. And when women sense this, it triggers a deeper connection that goes beyond physical desire. It's emotional, mental, and instinctual all at once. Confidence combined with emotional intelligence is especially powerful. It's one thing to be confident in your achievements or life choices, but when that confidence is paired with an understanding of emotions, yours and hers, it becomes irresistible. Older men who have this balance exude a sense of calm assurance that women pick up on immediately. They don't need to prove themselves, they don't need to control, and they don't rush interactions. Instead, they create an environment where a woman can relax, open up, and feel truly understood. That sense of being valued and emotionally safe is a key factor in why women are drawn to this type of man. And here's something fascinating. Emotional intelligence doesn't just make interactions smoother, it amplifies attraction. Women respond not just to what is said, but to how it is said, to the energy that comes from someone who understands the subtleties of human connection. Older men with high emotional intelligence naturally navigate these subtleties, often without even thinking about it. And women feel it in a way that's hard to articulate. That unspoken understanding, that quiet yet powerful emotional awareness, creates a pull that is both irresistible and deeply compelling. The type of older man who attracts women isn't just confident, experienced, or emotionally intelligent. He combines all these qualities in a way that creates a magnetic presence. It's not about ticking boxes. It's about a combination of respect, mystery, and stability that women feel instinctively. Think about it. Women are drawn to someone who commands respect, not by demanding it, but by the way he carries himself, makes decisions, and treats others. That respect signals maturity and self-assurance, qualities that younger men often haven't fully developed. Women notice these patterns subconsciously long before they consciously recognize them. When a man exudes respect toward himself, toward others, and toward her, it communicates a sense of value, and that alone creates an undeniable attraction. Mystery is another crucial factor. Women are wired to notice subtle cues that hint at depth, experience, and unpredictability. The older man who attracts attention doesn't reveal everything at once. He shares stories, but not too many. He listens, but not passively. There's a layer of intrigue in the way he moves through life, a sense that he has lived, learned, and experienced things that aren't immediately obvious. That mystery keeps a woman curious, engaged, and mentally stimulated. It's fascinating how something as simple as a man's ability to hold a story back, to reveal just enough, can create a magnetic pull. Women instinctively sense that he has layers, that he's more than what meets the eye, and that curiosity drives attraction on a level that is both intellectual and emotional. Stability is the third component, and women respond to men who offer a sense of consistency, reliability, and calmness in a world that can feel chaotic. Stability isn't just financial or social, it's emotional, mental, and behavioral. It's the way he handles challenges, communicates, and maintains composure in difficult situations. Women notice when a man doesn't overreact, doesn't seek validation, and doesn't let insecurities dictate his actions. That stability makes them feel safe, understood, and comfortable enough to let their guard down. And when a woman feels this level of security, the attraction becomes more than just surface level. It becomes almost instinctual. The beauty of this combination, respect, mystery, and stability, is it works together to create a powerful magnetic effect. Confidence draws attention, experience, intrigue, emotional intelligence deepens connection. And these three together create a presence that is irresistible. Women are always able to articulate why they feel this pull, but they feel it in their bodies, in their energy, and in their instincts. It's a subtle, quiet force that makes them think, feel, and even dream about what it would be like to be with a man who embodies all of these qualities. When you observe it closely, it becomes clear that women aren't chasing superficial traits. They are responding to the alignment of qualities that signal a man who is mature, self-aware, and emotionally balanced. The type of older man who attracts women isn't perfect, but he has mastered a unique combination of respect, mystery, and stability that touches something deep in the female psyche, creating a connection that goes beyond words, logic, or appearance.